Here we go. The Merman is here. Episode 11 of Chiclets Game Notes. We are live on Chiclets YouTube. Subscribe. Notifications. Get those numbers up for the boys. We got Murls. And this episode, we're back. We're back with Factor, our presenting sponsor. What's up, Factor? Murls, you got some Factor for us?
Yeah, I'll give you a little Factor here. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Forget frantic lunch preps and rush dinners. Factor's 2-minute meals are your secret weapon in the new year. Fuel up fast, restaurant-quality meals, all delivered right to your door. Factor now offers loads of snack options like breakfast, smoothies, juices, snacks, and more to keep me going no matter what's on the schedule. When things get hectic, Factor is flexible. Change your order up every week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week, or pause and reschedule your deliveries anytime. Factor's everything I need for a week of flavorful, nutritious eats.
Yum.
In addition to ready-to-eat meals, they have cold-pressed juices, smoothies, energy bites, extra protein, veggie sides, and more to keep me energized during frantic times. Head over to factormeals.com/GameNotes50 and use code GameNotes50 to get 50% off. That's code GameNotes50 at factormeals.com/GameNote50 to get 50% off. That was a lot to get through, but after my week in Gothenburg at the World Juniors, I need all of this. I need the healthy meals. I'm doing a resolution. I'm on the smoothies instead of the beers. So Factor's it.
Yeah, it is. I ordered it too. I got some. I got the meals. So easy, ready to eat. I got to say, those smoothies are bomb. Smoothies are unbelievable. My kids loved them too. They taste awesome. All the food was really good. So check out Factor if you're hitting that New Year's resolution, like it said in the read. Murls, I know I got to drop like 20. I got to drop like 20, 30. If I could do it by the live show in Toronto, that'd be extra. Murls to the show for the read.
I mean,
let's go, Jazz.
I mean, after I saw myself last show after 5 days in Gothenburg, I was like, ooh, I'm off. I had a shave. All I've been eating is salads and chicken and smoothies.
You're hitting it, hey? Are you hitting it? Are you back?
Got to get ready for Toronto. Toronto's, I can't show up there like a boiled owl.
A boiled owl. That's what I look like right now, boiled owl. That's the one thing. Like, I could get shredded and jacked. Like, there's no question I could do the work. It's just getting in there to do it. I just got to get in there to do it. I know I saw Singsy. Shout out to Singsy, by the way. But I saw Singsy, who's said he's going to start working out and gave us a rundown on social media. Follow Singsy, beauty. But I think, we could all use to better ourselves. Tonight, also at the Pens game, is Mental Health Awareness Night, too. So I know Whit did a read on the last Chiclets episode as well about some of the, taking care of yourself. Yes, physically, but also mentally is important. So maybe in the new year, everyone just take some time, take a little better care of ourselves, live a happy life, because we got the happy chat and they're piling in here. Everyone's all happy. Everyone's loving all about the diet, boys, from Kyle. Yeah, let's go. We got to get dieting. We got to take care of ourselves. There's Kyle right there. Murls, good for you. Salads. Are you working out? Are you doing workouts?
No, I haven't got back in the gym. I hate going to the gym. Like, I hate it. I hate it, especially in this winter. It's cold here. Going outside, then you're all sweaty. You got to come out. It's cold. So I haven't been doing that as I should. But I'll get back to that. But, I'm happy. I know there's some people in Philadelphia that are not happy with the recent news. We got to get into that a little bit.
We'll get all to that. I seen someone came in here. I only came here to see the Philadelphia talk. Someone said that earlier in the waiting room when we were waiting to come on. So we will get into that. We want to, do we want to get into that right now? Do you want to do Flyers?
Well,
want to get a little Flyers?
I mean, I could have stopped the whole thing. I just realized it all that when I was in Gothenburg, on 3 different occasions, I talked to Jonesy on one day, I talked to Danny Briere one day, and then I was out at the bar with Gauthier's dad the one night, and I took off early. I'm like, oh, I got to go home early, blah, blah,
Mark
blah.
that, Poos. Mark that.
If I had stayed, maybe I would have got into the booze with him a little bit and would have found out about this. And I could have been the bridge in between the two sides. And we would have never had this big blow up.
That would have been an unbelievable game note story. I mean, Murls, the mediator, just pops in and just saves the day and builds a bridge.
Or I could have had the scoop on it, but all of them had their cards close to the vest. I didn't hear anything about it.
So Torts too went off on that one dude that that just out of nowhere. Torts to the show. Laura loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it too, Laura. I loved it. I got to say, I give Torts, like, he came out and just absolutely goes, "Where's that guy that said that thing about Hayes?" And the guy's like, "Me," like right away. Like I just like did it right away. And then Torts just went off on him, and then he was going to let it slide. Just that one little comment calling him to the mat, but then he wasn't done, Murls. Torts went back at him and gave it to him. And I think I know why he did it. And Torts called him out on his sources, your sources. I call bullshit. And I think it was just like an old interview. And he was just friendly about Hazy. He was just being friendly about Kevin Hayes and how Kevin Hayes is a nice guy, take him under his wing and like took him golfing and all this nice stuff, which is like what most guys do. Most guys do that. And like, for example, JVR goes to the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm still with the Maple Leafs. I asked a couple guys I know to get his number. I've never met JVR. I still to this day in real life have never met JVR. I ran him over when he was in Philly hard. I smushed him. But I reached out to him like, "Hey man, welcome to the Leafs. Awesome. Here's my number. You need anything with the Leafs, anything in the city, you let me know." Literally 2 weeks later, I get bought out. So I'm done. I still haven't met him. Meanwhile, I ironed a hole through my shirt last week on TNT. JVR slides into my DMs and is like, "Hey, Army, have you ever thought about using this shirt company?" And gave me like a shirt name. And he's like, "I know the buddy that runs this company. Like, hit him up. You should get some stuff from them." So that's what guys do. Guys are good guys. They look to take care of their own. They look to take care of other hockey guys and take guys under their wings and take them golf. And that's where he got it, because he said, "This guy is helping me." And there's like a narrative that's, he left. And Torts hit that too. He's like, "Hey, we had disagreements on the way that he played. And that's it. This guy's a good man," which he is. He's a good guy. JVR, class act pro. There he is. Singsy's in here. He's getting some notes in before he's got to go in for his big work meeting. But Murls, what do you make of the whole thing, at least from Gauthier's side? Like, what do you think happened? Because I know what I think happened, where the breakdown happened.
Yeah, the thing I heard is that I think he wanted to come out of school last year at the end of the season and kind of get the Johnny Gaudreau treatment, where you get flown private right to the game, right from Boston College, and you get thrown right into an NHL game, which is wild, but that's the way it is now. So I think he wanted that treatment. The Flyers weren't planning on being good yet. Their plan was they have a few years down the road. So if he comes out and plays, it burns a year in his contract, which they don't want that. They want this guy on a lower salary when they get Mitchkov over here and they start getting good again. But everything has kind of gone fast pace for them. So I think that was a big thing. And Philly wasn't budging on that. He was pissed that he didn't get up there. So
should the league start enforcing some sort of penalty for young players pulling stuff like this? I don't know what you can. This is like CBA. This is like college rights, pretty much. Those kids have them. Those kids, we were talking about it pre-show, and Biz has brought it up a lot too, right? Like about, some of the ways that they could get around certain things, but the college is the route. These guys have all the cards pretty much, because they could just say no, and they could just deny you, and then they become free agents, and then they can pick wherever they want, right? Murls, that's how it works, right? Yes, you got to play longer in college, but
yeah, it was opposite of when I played. You had no rights at all. After your senior year, you had to wait a full season, a whole year, become unrestricted free agent. Now you just have to wait till a month after you graduate. So then you have the world then
everyone comes for you. Like, who was that? Like, I remember Tyler Bozak. I played with him. Everyone was hunting him down. Then there was that VC, with the Rangers now, and he became a free agent. Same thing. So they kind of have the cards in their favor with regards to, having leverage. But I think, yes, he wanted to go to the NHL. I think the plan was for him to go back to college. I don't think because of that plan, where he is right now, he's in college. Because of that plan, they didn't want to burn a year and call him up last year and put him in the show. They probably wanted him to do like what Bugsy Malone did. Remember when we were there? Bugsy came out of college. He played with us in the playoffs in the minors. He came and played with us.
He played like a few regular season games and then maybe a couple playoff games. Yeah, it wasn't much, but he was down there, and I think that helped Bugsy so much the next year because he was comfortable with everybody. When we got to that camp, he wasn't a rookie that's just meeting everybody. He knew 25 of us already at that camp, and if you remember, he had a great camp. He made the team that year.
Yeah, he made the team, and he was there. So maybe a little I don't think he liked the Flyers' plan. I don't think he wanted to do that, and I think that's where it fell off. And then I don't know who's his agent. Like, why is his agent giving him bad information, like not to talk to teams and stuff, and just cut off complete communication? If you want to cut off communication, just say we don't want to be Flyers anymore. I'm sure that could have been handled totally differently, or come out and talk to them, and it could have been communicated on the backside, and it would have saved Cutter from being like the bad guy. Because there's that story. I don't know. He sent out an assistant coach to go out and talk to like John LeClaire and Sharp, who came to see him playing college, and he wouldn't talk to them. So I don't know. Colby Cohen said that on his podcast with Johnny Laz. So, I mean, what the hell's going on here? How does this happen? But meanwhile, they got Drysdale. He's a good player. Got a point the other night. I saw Jazzy put a little post down on him. Point as a Flyer. Jamie Drysdale. There he is. Cutter Gauthier 0. Fun fact: you go check out Jazzy on Twitter. He sent out a good little video. He made
they dominated Montreal last night. I watched that game. It was domination. It went to overtime. I don't know how
they won in a shootout.
Yeah. But the Philly looked good that game. Montreal is just horrible. Montreal had 2 shots and 2 goals in the first period. That was it.
Yeah. So this will never go away though. Like this guy, it's good that he's over in Anaheim, Cutter Gauthier, because. If he was in the East and you got to play the Flyers like 3 or 4 times, can you imagine? He only has to come in there once a year now, and it's going to be electric. It's going to be like, oh my God. like social media was insane on this Cutter stuff the other day. It was just electric with what happened as stories started to come out. And then, you got Danny Briere and Jonesy going on TV and just saying he doesn't want to be a Flyer. He's out of here. All this stuff. It was electric. It was crazy. So that was awesome.
I mean, even the Pardon My Take guys did a whole thing on it, which they only do hockey if Biz or Witt is usually on, right? And they had their Philly guy do a whole breakdown of the thing, which was hilarious too.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it was huge news. So we got that was a big trade too. 2 ex first round picks that are recent. They're like 20 years and younger, and 2 pretty good players. I mean, we'll see what Cutter Gauthier is at the next level. What he can turn into. But I think he's got it hard over there too. Like if the things are like a rookie GM, we heard this, and like a coach that maybe he was unsure of, like Greg Cronin's a hard coach. Greg Cronin's a hard coach. Pat Verbeek doesn't fuck around in Anaheim either. Like you're on the program or you're not. Like it's not you're coming in there just to be a star. Like you better put the work in the gym. Like it's very regimented, I think, with the way they run things in Anaheim. So, pick your poison, bud. Pick your poison.
But other than that, U.S.
Yeah, here we go.
U.S.
Look at this jersey. Is that your jersey when you were a kid?
No,
look at this thing.
I got that one. I bought it before the game. I knew U.S. was going to win. I just knew it. I remember I was saying I didn't know which one
for your wife?
For the daughter.
For your wife?
Got it for the daughter. I went over. So when we hung up last show, I went right over and met up with the U.S. dads for the pregame party. And the confidence there of that group, they were so calm. It was unbelievable. I knew they had this thing in the bag. I interviewed a bunch of them for our vlog that's going to come out next week from there. So the U.S. was great. They were just unbelievable, but great times over there, and look forward to the vlog next week.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the vlog. You were highly active over in Sweden, like just bombing rink to rink to rink, getting fans, doing like little bits here and there with the parents of the U.S. team, the dads. You had it all going on. So stay tuned for that. When is that coming out? Next week?
Next week. Yeah, my buddy Henrik Sjöberg, Swedish Hockey News. He filmed for me. So we gave all the films to Fish and Sean and G. I don't know what's going to happen. But
oh, yeah, that's when the real magic happens with those guys.
I do have my first jersey here. It's funny you asked that.
Let's see it. What is that?
Right here, Troy.
What does it say, though?
It's
M. Murley. Why do you have M. Murley?
Quinlan and Riley. Because Murley, that's M. Murley, my brother Tom Murley. So you're all out on the ice in youth hockey. My mom just sent that over to me. I was sitting
That's
here.
awesome.
Funny.
That is awesome, buddy. Look at that thing. Hang that
Red,
on the
white, and
wall in
blue.
the background.
Yeah.
That's sick, buddy. I love it.
It's like,
hey, Murls, explain
it's like
this to me.
sweatshirt material. It's like the real sweater.
Yeah,
You know how
it
people
holds onto
Canadians
the
call them
water.
sweaters? Those are Yeah. Hold on.
I got to ask you, what's up with the Swedes? Because Will Smith on the pod said that, like, it was crazy, right? They were blowing kisses, like, you know, going like American style, just like we're winning, we're blowing kisses, we're doing everything. The goalie's dancing, waving at the crowd, like everything's happening. The Americans are just started to pile it on, and then they're getting like death threats. I thought, like, when I was there, Swedes are pretty quiet, like reserved people, like fairly friendly. I've had a few run-ins when I did play there with some supporter fans that were like yelling at me and stuff, and I was antagonizing them too, like, oh yeah, what are you gonna do, fuck you, let's fuck. And they were like trying to fight me and stuff. That's very un-Swedish, like, I feel. But death threats to them in the inboxes or in their DMs and all this stuff, like, that's Murls. You got to clean up Sweden a bit here. It
That sounds
like, what
strange.
the hell?
But I mean, the Swedes are so like against fighting to begin with. So they had that little like line brawl, which is
that was awesome.
Swedes, and they don't see that stuff, and they think that's just the worst thing ever to have a fight like that. So that was bad. And then to show off like that, like blowing the kisses, I mean, do Swedes even celebrate goals? They're like all the NHL coaches. They score and like, yes, that's what we do. Like they never go too high. They never go too low. It's called lagom. It's a Swedish word. It's just in the middle. So they always are.
They're very lagom.
Yeah, they don't like that stuff. So it must have been a few hooligan keyboard, what do you call them? Keyboard warriors throwing the DMs to those guys.
Yeah, very un-Swedish like, right?
Yeah.
Because I know, didn't a guy get kicked off his Swedish team for like tweeting at a guy to meet him in the parking lot? Remember that big monster guy, that Lee Goran?
Lee Goran? Yeah, I remember him.
Goran. Yeah. That guy's a beast. I think a fan was chirping him on social media, and he said, meet me in the parking lot, and they kicked him off the team for being mean.
Oh, really?
That's what happened.
I think he was in Färjestad, I think, at one point.
That's the place where I almost got into it with a fan coming off the ice. That's Färjestad. They're supporters. These guys are animals. Maybe they were at the game. Maybe they were sliding into DMs.
By the way, Army, you're going to love the vlog because this rink was your favorite rink, was one of the rinks.
The McDonald's hooked on
the
it.
McDonald's
I saw that.
Yeah.
Fucking let's go. Was that under? Did you hit it up?
Yeah, I went in there. I had the worst diet down there. It was pathetic.
They had it hooked on the rig.
Burger King, and kebab. It was pathetic.
Congratulations to USA and USA Hockey. I saw their head coach was on the late game last night. They had him on the TNT broadcast talking about their victory and the win against the Vegas Golden Knights against Colorado. That game was electric too, by the way. How about Colorado, bud?
Colorado,
unbelievable right now.
Did you see this kid? Was it Malinsky? He just got. He's like a call up. He's played maybe 16 games. He almost looks like Makar. Obviously not even close to him, but he came out of Cornell. He was a free agent. I guess they took him, and he I don't know if I think he scored it. And he did like this was 2 nights ago.
Ankle breaker shit?
Yeah, he did ankle breaker on the blue line and then just snapped it in there. He kind of looks like Makar.
So they have Makar, Byram, Gerard, and this guy?
Okay, and Taves.
Taves? Oh my God. They got to get rid of one of them, right?
Jesus.
How are you going to do this?
This McKinnon guy is unbelievable. My God.
And Druin, and then the Russian guy. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's scoring like crazy.
We got to talk about that. So our shows last week. Yeah, our shows last week when we came on, Witt talked about Nichushkin. Since then, he scored that night. He scored the shootout winner, and then last night he had 2 goals.
I think he has like 12 or 13 goals in 14 games. Like he's doing like what Matthews is doing.
Yeah. We were premature on all our shows, and then I was all pumped up to call up the fans because they put 5,000 in the PWHL game. That night they put in like 11,000 in Minnesota or something crazy like that. And what was the last one? Oh, your show, Singsy.
Shout out to Singsy. You want me to give? There he is, right there. Just before he heads off to his work meeting, Singsy got the military appreciation on the jumbotron, like fan shout outs. He told me that he was wheeling around and everyone's yelling, Singsy Game Notes, Singsy Game Notes. I'm in the chat. So shout out to our chat. We said if you see him, say hi. I guess it was unbelievable. He told me, like, you know, the reception that he got, it was overwhelming from the crowd for one. But then, like, walking around the rink and everything, everyone was just piping them about giving them double wristers, as Bids would call it, about being on Game Notes. Captain Singsy. That's right, Jazzy.
I had an NHL scout send me a picture of him from the Jumbotron. So the scouts even know about him.
Everyone's loving Singsy. That's amazing to hear from Singsy. But now we're calling it the Singsy game. The Singsy game, too. We got to get into this because it was insane, right? You got Bedard, broken jaw, just had surgery the other day now, we hear, and he's out for quite a while. And then we see Jack Hughes in the Singsy game gets hurt. I think, what did they say? Is it shoulder? Is it his shoulder? We don't know.
It looked like a shoulder.
Like
I heard a wrist, too. Somebody's trying to say wrist. I felt like I remember my shoulder would pop out, and that's exactly what it looked like to me.
When you fall down and you get your arm out and you extend, it has an opportunity for it to chunk like that and go down. So maybe that's what it was, his shoulder. If anyone knows in the chat, hit us up.
And then you come back and play with the Hannibal
Lecter
Lecter thing on like this, where your arm can't move. So
I had that. Remember, I had that.
Yeah, I had it too. Yeah, we both had
it.
We
both had that. Our shoulders blew out.
We're going out playing together. Two good arms between the two of us.
I couldn't reach with my stick to poke check. I couldn't because my arm was like against my side with that Hannibal Lecter strap down thing. But my shoulder was blown out all the time. It was crazy. But the Singsy game was nuts. Everyone got hurt. Then there was fights. Brendan Smith answered the bell, scrapped it up with Foligno. It was a good fight. Those two old veterans going at it, two tough guys. And then there was just chaos the rest of the game.
And Foligno got hurt in that fight.
Yeah. So he took his finger, right?
Yeah, it was a disaster.
The Singsy game. We got that going on, but congratulations, Singsy. That's awesome. Hope you got the love and respect. The captain of the chat, everyone loves you. Our chat's electric. Our chat's great. Our chat is the best going, runs our show. It's awesome. I was pretty busy this week, Mur.
Yeah.
I was pretty busy.
You're everywhere. You're busy every week.
I've been bombing around. Like, so tonight I got the Canucks are in town. They're rolling hot, right? One back-to-back against those two New York teams. Pretty big wins. They're running show. That top line, Besser, Miller, Pedersen.
I tried to derail them. It's not working.
You tried to? They're lighting it up. Absolutely lighting it up. The lotto line. But I went to, and I worked the Rangers Canucks game up in Toronto on Monday. So I fly in there on Sunday night. I went and watched Ken Reed. You know Ken Reed, Sportsnet? His kid plays, I think he's like 10 years old. He's a goalie for the Don Mills Flyers. So I land my plane, get in a car, head right to this rink in Toronto, this little dumpy rink in Toronto. I watch his kid play a little youth hockey game, GTHL, no big deal. Play net, played great. Went out for a little steak dinner after the game. Went back to my hotel, watched some hockey, went to bed, got up the next day and worked that game. So just get in there. They have a guy in there that cuts my hair too. He gives us haircuts, Murls. I get a haircut every Monday night when he's in there. Shout out to Gus, gives a great haircut. Look at this thing. Look at this. It looks good. Maybe I should grow it out longer. The whites are showing on the side a little bit. I get chimed about the whites and the grays. But worked a great game up there. That was a good game. Rangers against Canucks on Monday night. And then back here just grinding out Pens games. So it's been pretty electric. And the game tonight will be awesome.
Your Pens are hot too.
The Pens are rolling. And to make it even bigger tonight, not only is it mental health awareness night at the game, we flew in. He's coming in. He's working on the broadcast tonight, Murls. Bugsy Malone.
Bugsy.
So if
everybody
you're
will finally get
game,
to hear that voice. Hey, there's a shot from the corner there.
He'll be on the panel. He'll be doing a pregame show. He'll be doing intermissions. He's at pregame skate right now. I'm skipping out on pregame skate for this show, obviously. They're going down there. Bugsy's down there getting all the intel. He's getting ready to work his first broadcast tonight. So tune in for the
You
great
got like an
Bugsy.
Assistant now. Oh, Bugsy, you go cover the morning skate.
Yeah, get all the info for me. Get it all done. I'll be calling the game. I'll be doing color. I'll be doing color tonight, and then at intermission, you'll have Bugsy Malone with the great Dan Potash and Jay Caulfield on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Tune in for that. That'll be a good game tonight. Two pretty good hot teams going at it. We'll see. This is a big test for the Pens. They've been playing good hockey, but they've been win one, lose one, win one, lose one. But they've been playing really good right now. And even the games they lost, they dominated and just couldn't find a way to win. But this will be a big one against Vancouver, who's really hot right now. So I'm pumped about that game tonight. I don't know if I have anything else from that. That's probably it, Murls.
I just saw somebody put in the chat, Sochi lost 4-1. I love it. I was actually on that game.
Sochi right there,
Yeah,
4-1.
nice. I don't know why he wrote that. I just happened to see it. It was great. They were down 1-0 going to the third. But speaking of gambling, that's why we're here. We got to get the chat lay out there.
Oh,
We got to get the chat lay. I made up a couple chat lays here. So the first one is the Army alumni.
I love this.
Montreal playing on a back-to-back. They look terrible, but we got Montreal, Toronto, Pitt, and Winnipeg. Winnipeg is just, like, doesn't even add value to it. But they're such a big favorite. And then we have the state of New York. We got Buffalo, New York Rangers plus 495. I think the first one, Army, is plus be 542, so it's a little higher. But
get it in the chat. Let's see what you want. You got the New York. What was it called? The New York.
New York, state of New York, or the Army? Because I'm a huge Bills fan. There's a game. I know I'm an NHL guy, but there's a bigger game this weekend. It's Pittsburgh versus Buffalo. So you're going to be against the state of New York all week here.
In that one. Yeah, I hate New York right now.
Yeah.
I hate New York right now. Let's go. I
So
owe you, right? Because I lost a Swedish bet. I lost Swedish alumni bet with you. So I owe you a steak dinner.
Yeah, are you a Steelers fan? You're Steelers. You got to be Steelers. I love
Steelers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let's go. This is huge for us. We got in the playoffs. This is big.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph is rolling. They're giving him the ball. They're letting him the hot hand still running. No Pickett. Let's go. Mason Rudolph. He's waited. He's won games down the stretch. He's playing good right now. Is this serious? We won't have Watt in the game? I think I saw that too.
Yeah, he's out. Confirmed out.
That sucks.
That's huge loss.
That is a huge loss. So what are we betting? What are we doing on this one, Murls?
I will.
I'm going Steelers, but
I'll go the steak dinner again. Or we could do a lobster maybe. Want to switch it up? So we'll have a steak and a seafood night.
You want to do lobster? You want to do Italian? You want to do a big Italian spread?
Big chicken parm. Yeah. All right, let's do that. Let's do an Italian dinner, some red wine.
Yep.
I'm on the Bills, and the line right now I saw is -10. Fair if we push, we push.
Right there, plus 10.5.
Do you want the 10.5? Oh, Singsy. Oh, what'd you do?
Let's
Text
go,
him?
Singsy.
You're trying to get that a half point on me?
Singsy, I like that. Will you give me 10.5?
See, when I actually bet the game, I'm going to move it to 9.5. Just because that's a big football number. But I'll give you the 10.5 since I'm already ahead.
And what do they call that when you move it, Murls?
Buy the line, buy the hook.
Isn't it called like a tease? Is that teasing? What is that?
You can tease. That's two teams. You tease a football. You can tease 6 points each way, or 7-point teaser.
See,
that's called buying the hook. If the line is 10, you move it to 10.5. Buy the hook.
Buy the hook. There you go.
That's a
people.
bet. That's a bet.
So 10.5 Steelers.
Yeah.
So they can't lose by more than 11, right? Is that what I'm? I got to be in around 11. I got to be around 10. I got to lose by 10 or win, which I hope they win. And we got Italian dinner on the line. So I owe you a steak dinner right now. You might owe me Italian. Maybe we'll get it done in Toronto at All Star.
No, we're gonna make Whit pay up there.
Yeah, Whit's credit card automatically. Throw that pink Whitney card down. Let's go. Let's get it going. Check out my pink Whitney skate. Where am I here?
Yeah. We'll
Whitney
save that when we're on a game notes trip without Whit.
Yeah, we need that. Yeah, exactly. Maybe Frozen 4 or something. Hey, bud.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
That sounds good. So the chat lay, get it in the Army, get it in state of New York. What you want? We'll add it all up. We got Sean Apuzzo working the buttons in the back. He's rolling. There he goes. He pops it up for us again. We got the bet in. Oh yeah, I want to bring up too. Speaking of like the chat lay and the chat, I saw Jersey Jerry, which was an electric stream. Of course, we know the hole-in-one stream, but now he's having a mental breakdown on his chat is just destroying him. And he can't take it. He's like canceling streams. He's canceling everything. He's tired of getting beat up on. And I'm sitting here going, we have the best chat in the world. Our chat community is unbelievable. They're yelling at Singsy at games, captain of the chat. Like our chat is so positive, so fun. So thank you guys for being so awesome to us, Murls. And the only thing I can think of is, do we have to come in there and like moderate his chat for JJ? Because we're like the chat. I'm a kind of a chat whisperer. Do I have to come in there and work his chat
greater
for him?
Than Jersey After Dark chat. Yeah, you might have to get in there. But he's too busy. Guy's on rollerblades. He falls, breaks his shoulder. By the way, I said it like he wore that Blackhawks jersey. Anyone wearing a Blackhawks jersey gets hurt nowadays. Clark Griswold would end up with a knee replacement right now.
He also pissed himself on his chat. Did you see that? And he threw up for milk. So JJ's on fire, but JJ's having a tough time with the chat. I want to give shout out to our chat though through that, just because it's so good. and it's so amazing. And the people in the community in here is so electric. I was doing color for the Pens last game and last home game, and I went to go to the bathroom at intermission. Some guy stopped me. He watches Game Notes all the time, like an older fella, not too old, but like, you know, an older guy. He loved it. He loves the chat too. He thinks our chat's awesome. He was going crazy about it. Got a picture with him. Just awesome here in Pittsburgh. I get yelled at all the time. Game Notes. It's crazy. It's electric. So thank you to everybody and how good we got it. We got it going right now. Piss dog. Someone says Sawyer. Piss dog. Sniff dog. Piss dog. Let's go. Here we go. All right. We want to get into, we're going to do show or mindsies, Murls. It's now that time of the show where we pump out the show or the mindsies. Let's hear what you got. If Poos has anything, Poos, pop in with one, buddy. Pop in.
Yeah.
People
My favorite part of the whole week is coming up with this one. This one got handed to me on a platter. I'm calling up to the show Will Sloan. You want to know? You don't know who Will Sloan is? You're asking who Will Sloan is? This guy sends me a picture of his men's league stick. Got custom sticks made, and he put EBR where the name goes. So, you know, where normally it goes Armstrong, it says EBR. So
no way.
I'm calling him up to the show. Here, let me.
Do we have a picture of that?
Yeah, I got.
You know, pop it up. Over right
Look
there.
At that. EBR.
EBR 14. No
That's
way. He sent that to you?
Yeah, that's a good one. But it also reminded me of a funny story. So I was here in Sweden, and we would order our sticks from the Bauer guy, blah, blah, blah. Guy in my team, Alex Larson, goes to the guy after I ordered my sticks, and he goes, "Oh, Matt didn't want to talk to you. He told me to come over and talk to you." Like, he goes over in Swedish, you know? He doesn't want Murley on his stick. He wants meat on his stick. So my bundle of sticks shows up for the season, and it's like meat, because I would always call, like, if somebody did something dumb.
Yeah, meat. That's your line.
Yeah.
That's your line, buddy.
He got a good little prank on me there with that move. I thought that was pretty funny. It reminded me of that when I saw the EBR. So you're in the show for that, Will.
Yeah, that's awesome. Custom-made sticks, chucking EBR on there. A lot of people loving the EBR. Get your EBR gear also at Barstool Store, and go check it out. Chiclets, get your EBR shirts. They're popping around everywhere. Where was that sign? Was that at World Juniors? That EBR
was at the
sign?
Global. That was at the NHL
the Global
games.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So go get it. My show this week is we have 4 kids, so it's crazy. Like, my wife is highly active. Obviously, she's busy as hell. She's just a trooper. She gets everything done. We hear Witt's, stories about him and his wife and everything she does. So my wife does that, with the 4 kids and everything. She just runs the show. She does my schedule. She's awesome. But our laundry, if you can imagine our laundry, I threw laundry to the Mindsies at the start of this year. And I know G's has his run-in with laundry as well. His laundry got stolen, but we used a laundry service just recently. And she sends it out, all the stuff comes back completely folded, all ready to go. Laundry service, shout out right to the show. Just showed up on my door before I came down here. I pulled it all in. It's amazing. Washed, handwritten note in there. Thanks for using our service. We take pride in all this. I'm like, oh my God, unbelievable service. Shout out to laundry service, right to the show. Washing, folding, all you got to do is take it, put it away. It's not even that expensive. It saves, and it's worth it, because you ruin your life doing laundry. Life is ruined. I throw laundry in the Mindsies. Laundry service, big time to the show. Big time. Life changer, changes your life. It's like getting a cleaning service. If you're single, you have an apartment. Like, if you're doing, or you're living like a fast-paced life, like you're a young professional, and like, just get a cleaning service in there, like once a week, not even once every 2 weeks. It's just a lifesaver. It's just a quality of life that's just unbelievable. So laundry service, if you guys haven't tried it out, I'm sending it to the show. It's the best. Lifesaver, life changer, unbelievable. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. You got your Mindsies? Has Pooh's got anything?
Take one of these winnings like we swept last Friday and Saturday and buy yourself the laundry.
Shove to the upper ironing service. I don't know. I gotta check that out. The chat. Thank you. That was good. That was really good. I'll never live that one down, bud. You go give us your Mindsies, bud.
Mindsies. My Mindsie is, so I'm watching the Avs Bruins game the other night, and the first time I've ever seen it, the announcers, they were saying the first time they've ever heard it, they both got too many men on the ice on the same play.
I saw that.
So the game went 4-on-4 for for both teams having too many men on the ice. If you get too many men on the ice in the NHL, that's mindsies. Like, it's not that hard. Stand up. And by the way, it's not on the coaches. Those are the two best coaches in the league, two of the best coaches in the league. It's on the players. So if people don't understand that when they say it's a bench penalty, you stand up, you say, I got number 29. And you make sure the other two guys say something. And if somebody says the same number, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, it's in the NHL, everyone's speaking pretty good English, and there's no need for that in the NHL. I would play in Japan and South Korea with two English speakers, and we wouldn't get this penalty. So that's the mindsies. Too many men on the ice is mindsies.
You can see what it happens when they show, like, doing TV and they show the shot of the bench and what happens and how that confusion happens. And it's always the guy. It's always the guy getting the wrong guy coming off. So you're not paying attention totally to your point. When I watch, I can see that. And
like,
usually
you should have one eye on, like, the guy you're getting, but you still got to watch the play in case the puck comes over. I didn't think of this till, like, later in my career. I did it once in a big game in Korea. I would see them changing, and I would just chuck the puck over there. And one of the guys isn't paying, like, not smart enough, and he go and grab it.
Mixer.
And we got a 2-minute penalty, like, power play out of it.
So smart to do that. Just a smart headsy guy.
Why would I not? I'm surprised Terrian didn't teach us that.
Yeah, throw it in there. Throw it in the mixer in front of the benches when guys
bench mixer.
The bench mixer. We got to do mixer.
Cause a storm in there too.
Cause a huge storm. Everything's happening. The whistle's blowing. Yeah, you got too many men. I love that. I seen Tatar, I believe it was, played the puck while he was changing too. You're not allowed to play the puck from the bench, obviously, when before your feet hit the ice. What's he doing on that one? How do you not know that one? That was insane that I saw that. But usually, too, confusion happens on that, Murls, when a D-man takes a penalty and then he gets out of the box if they kill it. Now there's like 3 D-men on the ice, and they come off to change. And obviously, the D is going to change where the D changes. So now a D jumps over, and another D comes, and no one knows whose centerman might jump for the player, but the D might jump for the D. That's when confusion happens too. So communication, it's obviously on the players. Zach Boychuk, veteran, Murls.
Yeah, and now too on those power plays too, because you're playing 4 forwards now. You have to make who's got the forward. Remember, I would play D in Wilkes-Barre on the power play, and everybody like, oh, I got Murls, even though like Scuds would have me, even though he was a D. But you have to make sure the forwards know that too. So I had a coach; he'd make us go and stand next to each other. Yeah, because of that extra guy to make sure. That's just an awful penalty. That's just like those penalties.
That might be the first ever. Is that the first ever?
Yeah, where's Jazz? Jazz got to look that stat up. Was that the first ever?
First ever too many men on the ice double penalty like that ever? Like that's crazy, especially in overtime. That's crazy. So, my mindsies. I'm gonna go. If Jazz sends something in there, we'll get to it. My mindsies is I won't say Air Canada. I will say Air Canada because they're Air Canada is the reason, but it could be any airline. I don't know if any other airlines do this. I haven't had this problem yet, but I flying to Toronto over the weekend to work Monday night. I fly in Sunday, booked the ticket a while ago. There wasn't much of a price difference to go to first class. And this is, I'm talking a 45-minute flight on a little plane, but they do have first class. So I get the first class ticket. Awesome. You're sitting there, you're comfy, right? No big deal. 45-minute flight, ho hum. On my way back on Tuesday morning, I get like messages sent to me, right? Like your seat has been changed. So I'm like, okay, but I still see it's like 2. You know, I'm sitting in 2. So I'm like, okay, it's front of the plane, no big deal. Well, comes to find out, they swapped the plane to like a plane that doesn't have first class. It's a regular goddamn plane. So I paid for this first class ticket. So now I'm on the plane. I'm pissed, right? I'm sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What setup is this? This is the worst setup ever. So I'm stewing. I'm sitting there in a regular seat, jammed in a regular Air Canada flight. Not a long flight, but I'm like, I paid for this. I paid for this service, Air Canada. So the guy's coming by like waters and everything. I'm like, hey, buddy, can I ask you a question? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I paid for a first class seat. And now obviously we have this plane. Like, what happened? You guys switched the plane? He's like, yeah, the plane got swapped out for this one. Like, you know, I'm like, well, I paid for a first class seat. Like, what do I do with that? Like, oh, you got to call into the thing and like ask for a refund for your first class ticket. Now I'm really pissed. Now I'm super pissed. I'm like, what the hell? I got to call them?
Yeah, well, you got to do the work. Like you don't got enough on your plate?
I don't got to, now I got to go on hold for 3 hours with Air Canada to try to get refunded my ticket. for a plane that they swapped out. How many first class seats or passengers do they have? Thank you for your first class purchase, Mr. First Class guy. We'll take care of you and just refund it back onto whoever bought the ticket onto that card. It's not hard to do. These airlines are criminals. They're scumbags. You know, I got to call them and get my money back for a thing that they did that they should provide the service for their VIP first class customer. Shouldn't they do that?
Yeah, I've run into stuff like that too. It's like, wait, you made the mistake. Why am I doing more work? Yeah, Chiclets Air confirmed. I saw another guy write. He's like, Chiclets Air would never do that. I'm like, actually, we might charge everybody first class, and then they get there and it's a cargo plane.
We're the biggest scumbags of the air, totally, completely. Yeah, like you can be as buckled as you want on the plane. We'll never kick you off. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's Chiclets Air. Unbelievable
Chiclets
idea.
Air. It's coming up that time of year. I haven't done any
Canada
legwork on it. It's almost here again. By the way, off topic, but we might end up with Florida and Vegas again.
I know. Which brings us to the tax-free talk about the, you know, but I will say this too, before we get to that, because I want to get to that with you. I saw Witt put out like 18 years since the Tarian rant.
Yeah.
And like social media went crazy on it, loving it. Obviously it's funny, but a lot of people picked up because remember we said like Sabres should get Tarian. Now people are saying, did we say Ottawa too? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But come in and clean it up, right? And people are going nuts. Like, we need this guy. We need this guy. My social media was going nuts with Tarian's 18-year rant about how soft we are. Soft like he never seen soft. The worst defensive core and team in this league. And it was so funny. It's great to see that. We loved it. And that kind of took off. But let's get back to that tax-free thing because did we talk about that already?
No, Chiclets Chirps as from Biz. You know, they've been talking about the... Well, Biz is just a Toronto super fan. He's trying to make up all these ways to get every player in the league there because they can't control themselves. He wants a luxury tax. He wants all this. Just like control yourself. Nobody made you sign Tavares. But what Witt talked about, I thought was really interesting, that Tkachuk makes the same at 9.5 in Florida as Nylander's going to make it 11.5 in Toronto just because of the tax, which is wild to think about. And I think that is something that the NHL should be able to do. They should be able to.
Doesn't it balance? Hold on. Doesn't it balance out with the American and Canadian money? Would you say that balances out a little?
That's above my pay grade. I don't even know what's the Canadian dollar
like
these
25 cents. I think it's like.
But no, but all the just because you're spending the money there.
Yeah, I guess that's what they say. Or
you're getting paid in dollar. Everyone gets paid in U.S. dollars.
USD. Yeah.
But I mean, there should be something there where, you know, that's an extra $2 million, and you do that 4 players. Say 4 players, that's $8 million. That's one extra stud.
Yeah, and I saw that they hiked taxes in Toronto 10% more or something for people that live in Toronto. If you're on the chat, let me know if you saw that.
Yeah,
I thought I saw something of that, which is freaking.
We're going there.
That's like 60% tax. Like that's insane living there because I know it's more than 50% plus your agent.
Nolan Graham, $1 is 1.34 Canadian. That's kind of where it's like.
That's brutal. Yeah. I hate that.
Funny,
that
but you have like hockey players on your money, which is awesome. So.
Yeah. So okay, but maybe they need to look at it too because someone brought up like you said they might be in the final again, Vegas and Florida, which is true, but tax-free states. So they build their teams with this cap. And they're able to give them less because of the tax break they get to say, hey, this is actually more.
So tin of chew is like $27.
Yeah, it is. It is like a case of beer is like $80 or something.
Yeah, that's crazy. There, the case of beer. Yeah, and then I mean Dallas. Yeah, Dallas was in the finals. You know, not too long ago. Nashville was in a final. No state tax there. So yeah,
state taxes are winning. The state taxes are winning. We got what's this RA from Chiclets Chirps? What's this one, Murls?
All right. Oh, all right. Trying to say he had some guy come up to him at the Boston Garden saying, hey, are you Murls? I'm listening to that. I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, Jesus. What happened to me? How bad did I look on that last game notes from Gothenburg? Like, oh, no.
Is RA in the chat? Please tell me RA is in the chat. Heard that.
Jeez.
That's so good. That's so brutal. Great interviews on there though.
Yeah.
Joey Decord, Will Smith, the boys were
Mhm.
were humming, snapping
Yeah, that was
it
a
around.
great episode. That was a great episode.
It was a really good episode
Yeah.
for the boys. Yeah, it was just a lot of energy, good energy, lots of conversation. They bring it. Those guys bring it.
Yep.
I'm so glad we're connected underneath them. They're just a juggernaut.
I think they got tonight. Tonight they got the Winter Classic vlog coming out, I believe.
Oh, is that tonight?
Yeah, I think 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, yeah, by the way, if you haven't noticed, G is not here. He's on the road for Chiclets University. That's why this episode is a little goofy. I feel like we got like a substitute teacher. The real teacher's not here, so we're kind of all over the place.
Well, shout out Shauna Puzo, the great Shauna Puzo. Cuts everything up, gets everything put on the platforms. Murls, you want to explain the platforms to people? Because we're getting hit up like, hey, I can't be watching on YouTube. Like, what the hell's going on here? By the way, subscribe to Chiclets YouTube. If you haven't already, please subscribe. How does this work? Explain to people how we're getting it to them.
Yeah, so we're live on the YouTube right away. So I guess some people are in their cars or in their trucks and they don't have unlimited data, so they're getting killed by following us on this. So they put it in podcasts, and I'm like, yeah, we're on the podcast. So we're on Chiclets, Spittin' Chiclets YouTube. We're right under there. But then on the podcast, we're on our own thing, Game Notes. So Game Notes, just Google Game Notes, Google Chiclets Game Notes, wherever you listen to your podcast. And I want to say, Puzo, you can come on. I feel like every time it's under an hour and 2 hours, you're like, yep, it's up there. So it goes right up to the podcast. It goes to Spotify. It goes to Apple Podcasts. Wherever you do it. I'm not the most technical guy.
Yeah, because we had guys hitting us up like, hey, I'm a trucker. I can't be doing this. I'm driving. You know, can't you get it onto podcast form? It is. Shauna Puzo texts us like literally 40 minutes after we're done this show and is like, all right, boys, it's up. Just letting us know. So you can find it after in podcast form wherever you find your podcasts under Chiclets Game Notes. So thank you. Get the numbers up. Let's go. Get the subs kicking. Get the chat buzzing.
So I see 321. Biz will be happy.
That's good. Biz will be happy. Busy loves us. Thanks, Brownie.
There.
Keeping track of the numbers for us, Brownie. I love it. Colby Arm Hog. What's that about? What's that about? Talking about my hog?
You're the hog.
Talking about that hog. The year of the hog. You look like RA. Oh, that sucks. All right, let's get into it, Murls. EBR's going to work. Let's go.
Yep.
It's Thursday. We got Thursday night. We got 13 games tonight. Of course, I'll be working that Vancouver versus Pittsburgh. Let's go, Pens, baby.
Oh, and I got to play on that game. I got to play on that game. We'll go right there first. You have boots on the ground. You know the EBR rule number 1, home team or over. I'm taking the over 6.5 here. Both these teams can score. Both teams are on fire. I'm not, that was a draw if I would look at it. So I'm seeing a Mr. Ice 3-3 there, over 6.5. Second game, hottest team in the league, second hottest team in the league, maybe third hottest team. There's a lot of hot teams in the league I'll get to in a minute, but Seattle minus 108 at Washington. I still don't believe in Washington. They did really well. They're starting to come back to reality. Their power play's brutal. Ovi's lost a step. So Seattle to keep this thing going. I think they've won 7 in a row, minus 108. And the third game is your Jets. The Jets. I don't know if you see the hat back there.
The Jets, baby.
Jets. I've been riding these guys. Chicago. Minus 1.5 isn't enough. I'm going minus 2.5 for the first time ever, plus 110. They're gonna blow this team out. It's gonna be ugly. You know what? I'm adding a play too. I'm adding first period. Jets to win the first period. I think it was minus 105. It's gonna be a beating.
That's a big one. I feel like the Blackhawks kind of keep it close though. Like they battle as bad as they are.
They screwed me the other night. I had the Oilers minus 1.5. So that's the other reason I know it's going to be a shit beating, because I needed it to be a shit beating the other night and it wasn't. So
yeah, this is like when you lose a hand and you come right back to fight back, you know,
stack them.
This is when the dealer at the blackjack table hits a 21, cleans everyone up. The next play you come back, bam, you stack them. Stack them. That's the strategy. Stack them. We're stacking them tonight. Jets are buzzing. Yep. I see that in the chat. Golf and Star fan.
And also, so while I'm here, if you've been following me on Twitter, I've hit goal scorers 2 for 2 the last 2 nights. And both picks came from Miggs, the Vegas insider. So he sent another one along for the show. Tonight it's Svechnikov plus 150 for Carolina. Svechnikov, anytime goal scorer, plus 150. And as we're talking about that game, watch out. Watch out for that game because the Ducks play well against the Canes. So be careful if you're a Caniac out there tonight. And I have one extra parlay. This is a parlay. Streakers. 4 streakers. 4 teams have been on win streaks. Oilers, Kraken, Jets, Florida. All 4 to extend the streaks, plus 507.
Oh, I love this one. I wish we had a graphic we could throw that thing up there.
Yeah,
this is unbelievable.
I came up with it late. Like, you got Edmonton at Detroit, which is probably the toughest one. Seattle, I already have. Winnipeg's easy. And who was the last? Florida.
Seattle, Caps.
Where was Florida? LA at Florida is a tough one. LA's kind of LA's.
Oh, that's a great one. People get on that. That's almost borderline Allura.
Jeez, I got a lot of picks here. All right, I'm going to go through them one last time here.
We'll say tonight for the Pens game, we've got Nedeljkovic in net against Demko.
I like
so
that for the
Nedeljkovic
over.
playing well. Nedeljkovic playing well.
Yeah,
Nedeljkovic playing well,
I'd
but
rather
2
him
teams
than
that
Jack.
are scoring right now like crazy. So, yeah, you're right. Good call on that.
Let me recap. Thursday picks. Vancouver Pitt over 6.5. Seattle moneyline minus 108. Winnipeg Jets, Army's Jets minus 2.5 plus 110. And Svechnikov anytime goal plus 150. And the 4 streaker parlay, Oilers, Kraken, Jets, Florida plus 507. Try to dummy this night.
What was it? Oilers, Jets, Florida,
Kraken, Florida.
Seattle. Okay, yep. Parlay. That's huge. That's a good one. Chat, get on that one. I like that one. Those are the ones I love.
Yeah.
That's right up my alley, Murls, right there.
Covers a bunch of games for you.
Yes, you're in the action. You're loving
Yeah.
life. You got it's like it looks like it could be a winner, no question. You're not really stretching too hard.
Just
to
win,
make that.
like win in a shootout. I don't care how ugly. Like last night, Flyers Montreal.
Yep.
That was ugly. Flyers got it done.
Yep.
Get it done.
I love it. Great job on that one. There we go. We have it. We want to do a little segment here we like to call Beer League Heroes. Murls, you've been getting some action on the beer league stuff here, and you're a guy that's going to clean it up.
Yeah,
Clean
so
up
we
Sweden.
last year we did it. We did a rule every time. We tried to clean it up. I've been getting some messages. I thought I would ask you these questions. The guys are asking me questions. So the first one from Jarrett Juliet. He said the guy who brought the beer last week was the first guy to leave, and he took the beer with him, so the guys couldn't drink the beer.
So hold on. He comes to the game.
Like
He's the beer guy.
Yeah, I'm envisioning he's the guy with the cooler. And I guess like everybody cracked one beer and then he just took the cooler and took off.
And then he left. He's the beer guy, and then he's the party pooper guy.
Like, that's
Beer
a
league
big
party
no-no.
pooper. This is his nickname, the beer league party pooper. The guy, so he's quick undressed guy, no shower, out of there.
Yeah.
And he breaking in so many rules, and then he just invents a new thing. Like if you're the beer guy, you can't just leave. You're the beer guy.
Yeah, you have to be the
Holy
last guy. Like, come on.
Holy
So-
shit. I got one for you. I got
all
one
right.
for you. I agree with that. If you're the beer guy, you can't just take off. Unacceptable behavior to leave with the beers. 100%, Sean. Beer guy has to be the last to leave. Yes, that's your job. You're the guy. Thank you, Connor. My buddy right there. Connor, thank you. Absolutely. You got to do that. I got a question someone sent in on social. Is driving 2 hours each way to play 10 p.m. Wednesday beer league game insane or dedication? Sunday Chirps on social media at Sunday Chirps. That's Murls.
I mean,
You're driving
as a kid that drove 2.5 hours for practice every Tuesday.
Yeah, you were trying to chase the dream, though. You
Yeah.
were trying to
And I think that's too much.
That's insane. That's for love of the
But-
game, like I've never seen, though.
But yeah. But maybe
would you
that's
do
his
that?
only option.
Where does he live? Yeah, we need
Yeah.
more information on that.
Guys, so I lived in Savannah, Georgia. We had no ice when I lived down there. The closest spot was Jacksonville or Charleston, both I think 2 hours away. And we drove down there every Sunday just to play men's league.
Wow.
So sometimes
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah, I guess if
ICC,
it's,
that's a good rebuttal to it. If you
and just
have
make
to.
a whole thing of it. Like go down with a couple buddies, load up the car.
3 or 4 guys get in the car corporal down and have some beers at the end.
Big roller guy, but he was jonesing for some ice. So Sundays they drive to go get the ice. I can see that. That's fine.
Want to know?
But
good
if you have
rule
rinks
is-
around you and you don't have anything, Murls, that's ridiculous. That's like the opposite of beer guy leaving early.
Yeah, so this brings me, like, it leads right into this. I didn't even know you were going to ask about that. This Drew Crandall tells me the top league in his city didn't have enough players, so they folded the league. And you would think, all right, they just go down and play in the lower league, right? No, they wouldn't let them go down and play in the lower league. So he's got to just hang up his skates, I guess, or drive 2 hours. But like, shouldn't they be allowed to play in the lower
allowing
level?
People to play now. Are we doing sanctions? Are teams complaining that like they're not in our league? No way, we can't join. We've got a good league. We've got 8 teams. It's perfect.
Yeah.
No way. Like if you're that big, people are hardcore, man. People are fucking hardcore. Let's just put this for example. I'm doing a ALS charity puck drop coming up this week. I think it's today. I think it might be today. A game. I'm coaching on the bench for it's like a high school game. They're doing a fundraiser for ALS. I said, yeah, okay, I'll be there. Maybe it's not today. It's next week. It must be next week. I got to work tonight. Anyways, I'm hearing news now that like I may not be able to go on the bench because I'm not a rostered coach. And like
you're not USA hockey certified.
I'm certified. I am certified, but I'm not rostered. The issue. So like, how big of a fucking loser are you to like follow these rules? Like it's such a big deal. I'm just going to be standing there. It's a charity game for a fundraiser, and you're a big loser that I'm going to like, I'm not a rostered coach. And like, if someone complains and gets them canceled out of the game, you're a loser. This is like that beer league. It's like, let them play. Everyone's just trying to get a sweat, hang out, camaraderie, get around the boys. The thing they miss most in their lives while they're doing 9 to 5 grinds and they want to play. No, these guys have to hang up their skates now. These leagues are joke. Like they got to lose. Like it's a beer league. You're not winning shit.
If it's a problem, if the guy's being an asshole and he's taking it end to end every single time and their team's winning 9-1, okay, yeah, then be like, hey, buddy, all right, you're shut down. But as long as they're just going to show up and like and play fun competitive games, then let them play. It's wild.
Shout out to the ALS fundraiser game though. If you see anything, maybe I'll post something on Twitter to donate to this. It's a good cause. Absolutely. We'll be doing it with. I guess there's some some people that have the disease associated in this area. I think maybe with the team that we're doing the fundraiser for. So I'll send out some of the info. If you feel you can donate, maybe we'll find a way to do that. But I'll be there. I might not be behind the bench. Sanction game. So we will see. I'm going to force myself in there.
I got one more beer league, a positive one from Riley Tetro. He told me he had a teammate, didn't show up in time for the game. So I guess he got there and, looks up at the clock, 15 minutes on it. And he's like, fuck it. I'm not going out there. It's not worth it by the time I get dressed. So he felt really bad. But when the guys came in from the locker room, he had 16 individual Caesars made for the guys, set up with the celery stick and all ready for the guys. It's like his penance for missing the game or being late to the game. So now that's a play. That's
a guy that could play on my team any day. Caesars too. When I come off the ice, there's a Caesar there. If you're American, you don't know what a Caesar is. Caesar, unbelievable. It's like a Bloody Mary, but it's way better, I feel. And you get that and you do that for the boys. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Even if you don't make it out there, you still go and do your part, make the boys feel good, come in for Caesar post game like a legend. Show, Murls, 100%. That guy's show. I'm glad he sent you that. We're getting some sick stuff coming in. Zach Boychuk right there. Mott's Clamato. That's what it is. Clamato juice in there.
That's the key.
That's the element that makes it.
We'll have to have some Caesars when we get to Toronto.
Oh yeah, we'll be getting them going. You gotta like 2 or 3, and then you gotta get off them
early, right at the start, and then
great starter. Got to get off them after that. Thought he meant a salad. Oh, a Caesar salad. Oh, it's a drink. Yeah, that's good. You got to try it. If you're up in Canada, you got to give it a go. Or if your grocery store has that Mott's Clamato, look it up. You got to try it. Where are we at, Murls? Where are we going now?
Let's get back to some picks. Get some more picks going.
We're at the weekend. Friday night, baby. 2 games. I know this is weird. We got 13 games, 2 games. Saturday has 16 games and 2 games on Sunday. So we're kind of going hot and heavy, then dying off, then boom. So 2 games. You got a couple. You got a few plays here.
Yeah, Friday, I'm going to just pick out the Nashville at Dallas game. If you watched Dallas last night at home, they like to score. Their goaltending, Ottinger's hurt, so the goaltending give up goals too. I like Nashville to score, so over 6.5 there for me. And then I'm going a couple player prop bets. I have O'Reilly over 0.5 point and O'Reilly anytime goal. And Army, do you know why I picked him for this game?
There's a tie into something here.
His nickname is The Factor. And today we are sponsored by Factor Meals. So I think he's going to deliver right on cue for us. You remember Stoner last year on 420 and a couple of other little gimmicks. So here it is. O'Reilly over 0.5 point. O'Reilly anytime. The Factor. By Factor
There
Meals.
it is. Factor Meals, presenting sponsor today. Check it out. At the bottom there. There we go. We got it. Puzo's just bringing it today. It's like he's on a tryout showcase. He's unbelievable. He's doing everything in the back. He's getting the chat going. He's popping up all this stuff. Shauna Puzo drives 2 hours for beer league because he doesn't have rinks by him when he lived down south. Shout out to a Puzo, legendary guy. Oh, we got a Laura. Pop that in there. Puz. Oh, here plus 3,759. That's all I look at. That's all I look at. 3 shots. She shot.
By the way, we missed the boat on this Kachuk. He's on fire now, and what a miss by me. I'll take the blame. He had a hat trick the other night in St. Louis, his hometown.
Oh, that's so up your alley to tie those together. Yep. Look how mad Murls is. What a legend. What an absolute legend, though. I love the factor bet. People jump on that factor bet for Murls. What is that? O'Reilly anytime goal? O'Reilly over 0.5 point
and goal. Get the goal, you get cash both. Bang.
Okay, there it is. Friday night. That's tomorrow. Quiet night. Just
quiet night too. That keeps that game exciting for you. You're in that game the whole time. You know, he can score with an empty net. He can score if his team has to pull the goalie. You know, he's going to be out there.
Jeremiah just says Natty Hattie for Maddie. Dr. Zeus chat now. We're going Dr. Seuss hockey. I got a lot of people commented to me about that. They were loving it. They said it's bang on. People were sending me messages. Hockey people were sending me stuff. Other people I saw in traveling that are hockey people that I talked to saying bang on. Dude, Dr. Seuss hockey.
I think we have such an advantage because of that program we have over Canada. Like you heard those guys talk, how they're always together. They all know each other. Like all the parents know each other. They have a step up now because of that.
Yeah, but then you get guys that are like, get me out of Philly. I'm a big deal. I'm a huge star. I haven't played a game, but I'm a legend. Look at my USA hockey numbers. Like that's what you get too. But want to move on to Saturday? We got the Friday out of the way.
Yep.
Saturday. Look at this slate. Holy smoke. 16 games.
Saturday.
This is almost, what do they call that? Ice surf? What do they call that when it's like the
frozen frenzy?
This is like a frenzy. Is that a frenzy?
Frenzy. 16? Yeah, it's just not staggered enough, but that's every team, right? 16 games. That's every team.
That's a frenzy on Saturday.
It's decently staggered. So I'm gonna talk about the first game in a bit, but let me start off with the Vancouver at Buffalo over 6.5. Absolutely love that. They both can score. Love that. Next play, San Jose at Ottawa. I will be on Ottawa 3-way. San Jose is just horrible. They just keep losing. Ottawa's got to win. Like they stink too, but they're way better than San Jose. So I'm gonna see them win that game. And then of course I'm taking our Jets, Philly at Jets. I'm hoping 3-way still decent odds, but if I have to go -1.5, I will. But for now, I'm on Jets 3-way. And then I told you about the early game. It's my factor game of the week. New York Rangers, money line, traveling down to Washington. Washington is coming back to earth. Rangers have up and down a little bit. It's time. They got a home and home here against the Caps. It's time to get back to their way of playing. Rangers, money line, factor, game of the week for EBR.
Rangers power play, unbelievable too. So take that into factor when you're making your factor play.
And I just thought of it. I will go for a Mika burger that day to make sure we get it over the line. And speaking of Brodeners and the Mika burger, I ran into two of the owners at the World Juniors. I got them interviewed on the vlog. I don't know if it's going to make the cut or not.
No way. Did you?
Yeah, I was asking him all sorts of silly questions. Like, is it true? Like, Mika hears it when I go, and then he steps his game up. So it's all.
Do you think they have insight into that at all? Do you think they like are in communication? Like,
Well, we
With
came up
them?
like storming on them with the light on. They kind of like froze up, and then I was like, I think they didn't know if I was being serious or. I'm like, yeah, come on, tell us.
I got people in the chat asking about any Euro plays, Swede
Oh
plays.
yes, good
Sal,
good call.
thank you, Sal, for the update.
Switch
Switch over to
over
his
to
other
the
paper
three
here for the
Coronas, the
people. There it
Sweden.
is.
Sweden. I got 2 SHL picks tonight. And first one is Lexan's 3-way, -111, up in Moto, Witt's old team. Lexan's beat them 4-0 and 3-0, if I'm correct, this year. They just have their number. They're playing much better. And then the next game's the fun one, over 5.5, Skellefteå HV. They have the 2 best power plays over the last 5 games. So those are a couple SHL picks and stat picks. And I've kind of been running all over the place with the World Juniors and everything. I haven't been able to do my SHL show, but I'll get that back on track on Saturday to get the SHL picks for the weekend. I know everybody's looking for those on the weekend before the NHL starts.
Yep, we got to follow Murls on socials. He'll be updating everything. He's got all our plays too, and you can come back and watch the show. We'll put the clips out as Puzo gets those up too each day, so you can follow that. Obviously, click subscribe on the Chiclets YouTube channel. Get those subs up. We're just bumping, moving. What's going on with Luleå this year, Murls? I see our boy in the chat there, Zach Boychuk. Shout out to Zach Boychuk.
Yeah, they're just like an aging team. They always play a kind of a defensive style aging team. I think Kempe is one of their bigger players. He wants to leave. I think I would think he has a deal in Switzerland he wants to get to, some easier hockey to play and a lot more money. But they're just look up Luleå on the map sometime on Google Maps.
Buddy,
in
middle
the
of
chat,
nowhere,
if you're having
up there.
If you're bored, go look at Luleå. So
it's way up there. I was amazed when I went to Luleå for the first time. People are skating on the water. They have sidewalks plowed on the water. You come over this bridge to get over to Luleå, and the rink's right downtown there, just covered in snow. It's crazy, this little town up there. And there's people pushing their kids in strollers skating down these like paths on the water. There's like all these skating paths out there, and like people are like skating to work and stuff. It's nuts there.
That. Like that'd be
like
my
Mystery
workout.
Alaska.
So instead of just going out to walk your kid in the stroller, you get to skate around, get to sweat.
Yeah,
going.
can you imagine just going for a wheel like that?
Yeah,
I would love that. Better here in Pennsylvania, all these damn hills. If I go for a walk or a run, I'm dying. I can't do this.
Tough driving those hills.
It's crazy here. It's like the craziest roadways ever here in Pittsburgh.
And while you're on the Luleå Google search, go even further up to Kiruna, it's called, and that's
What's up there?
That's where Björn Salming was from, and it's where Sandin Pellikka is from, the Swedish D-man you saw, drafted by the Detroit Red Wings last year. He's from way up there, and I bring it up. I interviewed his dad on the vlog too, so I'm hoping that makes the cut. It was fun talking to him about his son. That's going to be a stud.
Shout out to Matthias Modig, my old goaltender for the Vecqua Lakers. He's from Luleå. Luleå. I think he's from Luleå. Luleå. That's how you say it. But yeah, the historic team. There's a guy that I played with too, Murls. He played in the Western League, actually. Great guy. I think he was a Rangers draft pick, this kid. Played in Tri-City Americans in the Western League, Swedish kid. His dad's jersey's hanging up in Luleå. So I always, when I was playing there, I forget his name off the top of my head. I forget it. Great guy. He has like a couple kids now. Like life is flying by. I forget. He was one of my favorite guys. He actually showed me how to make this Swedish dish that I loved. It might sound kind of gross. I don't know. It was like, what's that sausage like?
Korv, yeah. Korv Stroganoff.
Korv Stroganoff,
bud.
How good is that?
It's the best.
Once they showed me how to make this, I made it like all the time. I loved it. This Korv, you cut it up, you cook it, and then you put it in with this sauce on the noodles. I don't know what it was. It was just,
we have that at least once a week. You put it and then put it over the rice. My daughter loves it.
How good is that, bud?
That kind
How
of
good is that?
There.
Yeah, there it is. Look at that. It looks like hot dogs kind of, but it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like sometimes we'll use the hot dogs if we don't have their special Korv. The real Korv is like, I don't want to show it. It'd be bad geef there, but it's this giant like hot dog, and then you slice it all up. The sauce, it's cream, it's tomato paste, chopped onions, a little bit of soy to taste. It's one thing I do make here, and my
You
daughter
make that?
can
Yeah,
actually eat
buddy,
that.
that's
Yeah.
my go-to when I was
Ew.
there. Once they taught me how to make this, I made it
Yep.
all the time. I loved it. It's so good. Look it up.
Mm.
Corv Stroganoff, Robin Shellberg.
Yeah.
Right there. She's
Love
got
this
it.
talk.
Love this talk. Yeah, it's so good,
or
Robin.
him.
Robin, it's so good. Robin the singer. Is this a singer, Robin? The singer Robin. Maybe it is. Remember that Swedish singer
Yeah.
Robin back in the day had
Corv
a
stroganoff,
hit?
Swedish meatballs.
Yeah.
I think what other ones we have. We have a lot of stuff. It's good. Good stuff.
I love
good
that.
stuff.
Did we do Sunday yet?
Sunday. We did not do Sunday fun
Let's
day
get
yet.
to Sunday. Sunday, 2
Sunday,
games. Here we
Sunday.
go. We're running
2 games.
hard on the show over an hour.
I
Shout out to the
should
chat.
have talked to Sean. There's a really big game on Sunday. Bills Mafia, Bills Pittsburgh, 7 p.m.
Steelers.
But
Let's go
but-
Steelers.
on the second TV, as long as the Rangers take care of business on the game of the week, I take them again on the home and home, this time at home against the
Home and
Capitals,
home.
back to back. And then the other game, Detroit, Toronto, over 6.5. Nobody's going to be watching that game. They'll be watching. No, is there a late playoff NFL or not? I don't know. Either way, everybody be talking NFL, not thinking about that game. And that's the game where there's going to be a billion goals and you're going to see the score and be like, oh, why am I not watching that game instead of watching this?
Because everyone's distracted because of playoff football and everything's happening. And then you got
And
wings in Toronto and it'll just be a gong show.
Yep. So
I like
over
that
6.5
thinking.
there.
And I also like your thinking on the home and home. I'm wondering in that with the Rangers Caps, because Quickie will probably maybe get into that one, hey? You think he'll get a game
I
in
mean,
there?
they're both
but he's
playing
playing
so
good.
well. I just went with the away game Saturday as the factor play of the week because I'll get better odds on the road. I'm a little worried about the odds at home there on that Sunday. So I'm gonna. I know like Saturday on the road I'm gonna get decent price on that game, and I think it's a great spot.
Yeah, and Trocheck's just been lighting it up. He's rolling right now. He's going to have a career year probably. I think he had like 75 points as his career. I think he's trending above that. He's just like the ultimate Swiss Army knife in that lineup and does like a ton of stuff for them. Shout out to Vinny Trocheck. Now we're throwing in a special thing for everybody. We're throwing in a Monday play. We got Monday, 10 games. We got 2 games for you on Monday. Murls, why do you want to get Monday in here for the people?
Well, it's Martin Luther King Day for us in the U.S., so we got a ton of afternoon games. Pretty good stagger. 4 early ones, and kind of staggered all the way. I love it. But everybody's been following me. They know the EBR rules. EBR rule number 2, 1-1 on the year, I believe. Bruins at home, day game. Always take the Bruins. So Devils at Bruins. Bruins money line. Love it. Devils are hurt. Bruins will be buzzing. Second
That's
game.
a 1 o'clock game for everybody.
Yeah.
That's 1 o'clock. There's
1
4
o'clock.
games at 1 o'clock.
So I cannot wait for that Monday. Like usually Monday here, there's nothing going on. It's gonna be that game's gonna be coming on 7 p.m. here. Oh,
Yeah.
Love it, love it. Next game up, another one. I've had this game marked down. I don't know how I found this or when I heard about it. I must have been watching a Carolina game a couple months ago, and it popped up that January 15th, Justin Williams, Hall of Fame, his numbers going up in the rafters. That
In
game,
Carolina.
Yep. And last year I was at that game when Cam Ward's went in, and the Canes just blew the doors off of. Might have been Columbus.
Kane's been rolling lately too.
So I'm on Carolina because they win those Hall of Fame game nights. So Justin Williams, Mr. Game 7. Carolina might win 7-1 because of that, Mr. Game 7. So
shout out to Willie too, Jay Willie, Mr. Game 7. Work with him on Monday nights now. He's up on the panel with me.
That's
Great
a Monday
guy.
night game. He won't be there that Monday.
Oh, there it is. No, he's not. Him and I will both not be there because I have to work too. We got the Seattle are in town. The Kraken, are in town to play that night. You can see it on the slate right there too. That's a 6 o'clock game. But shout out to Jay Willie going in the rafters as a Kane, Mr. Game 7. Great guy, great player, great career, champion. Everything he touched, champion. So that's a sick lineup because he's playing against his Kings too. That's unbelievable how it lined up like that for this and for you to keep track of it. That's why EBR is the best. That's why Murls gives it to you. What a legend. That's a huge Monday play. So we got you covered tonight. We got you covered through the weekend, and Murls sets you up on Monday also for Martin Luther King Day. All games, all day on Monday night. Awesome stuff, Murls. Let's get to Murls' mixer. What do you got for us, Murls?
Murls Mixer. All right. So first one was that we talked a little bit earlier about McKinnon. His home scoring streak, 23 games, moved into third. Bobby Orr had 25 straight. I think he'll get to that. But the Gretzky had 40. And I believe back when Gretzky did the 40, there was only 40 home games. He only played 80 games. So he got a point every home game.
Wow.
Which is sick.
That is sick. I think I saw Jazz, if he's still in here, if he's still like running with us, he tweeted something last night where he tied Joe Sakic's home point streak. Did he tie it?
Yeah.
Did you say that?
He took over it. Yeah, I think it was tied.
Or did he pass it or tie it? So I don't know. He's running like a beast right now. McKinnon's insane.
It's insane. I love
insane. Oh, their team is insane right now. The
I almost put the jersey on for this episode because I'm so he's playing so well.
Yeah. Someone said in the chat just now, can we talk about Chris? Welcome to, you must have got on late. Murls already brought that up, that RA being mistaken for Murls. I had to bring that up again, Murls. That was awesome.
Love you, RA. Can't wait to
I
see
love
you in
RA
Toronto.
too. I can't wait to hang out with him. Tied it. There it is.
Yeah.
McKinnon tied Joe Sakic for the franchise record, home point streaks. Pretty impressive what he's doing right now. Hart conversations. It's got to be like what? Who's in the Hart right now? Like him?
Yeah, I think Jazz
Crosby
had a tweet that McDavid.
Crosby has to be in it.
Yeah, it should be. I think McKinnon's the leader right now. Who else would it be? Hughes, but I mean, there's so many guys there. But there's so many guys. I feel like Crosby is like a
Kucherov.
Yeah,
good call.
So that's why like
Jazz.
MVP and best player is kind of it's different. You know what I'm saying?
The Hart is like the most important player for their team. It doesn't matter about points or whatever necessarily. It matters what you do for the team. And you know, that's why like Colorado's like speedy, like all over they got a lot of good players, right? Yeah. And I just look what Crosby's doing for the Penguins here early to start the season. It's just been everything. He's done it at both ends of the ice, everything plus production. So it'll be interesting to see the way.
Yeah. I
Go
saw
ahead.
he's leading the face-offs too.
Oh, he's crushes face-offs.
Remember how bad he was?
Crushes. He's like 60-some%.
I think you used to jump in and take him for him.
I did. I always took him on the one side. Get out of here, kid. I'll snap him back with my noodle arms. Get out of here. But yeah, what a season he's having right now. So keep track of that Hart stuff. And you sent a message out to us about with Bedard jaw surgery. Just to bring up another award as Rookie of the Year award, the Calder.
Yeah, he's going to miss 6 or 8 weeks, and the odds have not changed. And there's some really nice value out there. And I also got reported from Henrik that Leo Carlson is going to be back this weekend. So he was buzzing. But this Marco Rossi, he's second. Yeah. He's second in points, second in goals. He's 17-1 still. They haven't updated that. Fantilli's 8-1.
What's Faber?
Faber plus 550. Luke Hughes plus 400. I don't see that one.
Yeah, Joe Eason, Faber for Calder. What he's doing right now, like the amount of minutes he's eating, what he's doing. I mean, I know points is points, but it's like, come on, like this guy is just playing rock solid.
Yeah, I got to go back to a tweet. I tweeted that back when I'm like, Minnesota fleeced LA in that deal. People are like, you're an idiot. Fiala's getting 100 points every year. I'm like, yeah, I know he does, and he's better, but they couldn't sign him. Fiala could not go back there, so they had to move him, and they got that kid as part of it.
Yeah,
like that was a huge deal, like huge. Like
no one
didn't have to give them anything. Minnesota had to get rid of him anyway.
Yeah,
they couldn't keep him, and they got that good of a player for him. So.
Yeah, unbelievable what he's doing and stepping in there. They had injuries, and he was already good, and then they had injuries, and he just fucking boom. So
they got lit up last night, though.
What's that, bud?
They got lit up last night, though.
Yeah, I know.
They're struggling. I think they've lost 6 of 7.
Yeah, they're struggling right now, but hopefully they can get one more win when Fleury's in there. He passes Patty Waugh, right? He's tied with Patty Waugh most wins. What do you got?
By the way, do you guys remember? I don't know if it was on here or on regular Chiclets when I went and I saw Fleury at the Global Series.
Yeah.
And I talked to him for a little bit, and I was like, I know you're gonna break that record against like one of your old teams. I go, I'm trying to like figure it out on Pittsburgh. And remember, they didn't line up for it. I was trying to get like they got to play him tonight, tomorrow, in the next game. Doesn't he go and somehow beat it against his junior coach?
Yeah.
I knew he was going to do it somehow. I didn't piece that one together.
You always piece it together.
Yeah, I've been looking at their schedule like, oh, all right, when's he playing Vegas? When's he playing Pittsburgh? When's at Montreal? I was trying to figure out all these things. Never realized that was his junior coach in Columbus. And Fleury being Fleury, he does it again.
Yeah, he does it again. We're waiting. Great interview with the boys on TNT the other night. Told Biz just to brush his teeth. The guy's a beauty, absolute beauty. Jazz with some facts and some stats here for us on Faber. League leading 5 games with 30 minutes played. Also, rookie record time on ice was recorded and tracked back in 97, 98. So, I mean, pretty amazing.
It's
what he's doing as a rookie. Yeah, it's wide open. So take that all into account. If they can just start winning some games and stuff, I'm sure that'll add to helping it out with him. That's Murls' mixer.
No, I got one more.
You got some? Okay.
One more. We got U18 Women's Worlds going on right now. An absolute superstar from Troy, New York, my hometown, Maggie Scannell. She's been ripping it up. She's going to Wisconsin next year, so they're playing in a couple hours.
Like ripping it up. What are we talking? Ripping it up with
dominant.
Maggie.
She's dominant. I know I saw a TikTok clip. She's going around like doing Michigans and all sorts of stuff. She's a stud.
She's like the Tim Connolly of women's hockey.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Conley,
she must be dangling.
I'm trying to figure out. Guy won't answer me. I'm trying to get him up to Toronto to get an interview. Get him for real Chiclets interview. We need a real sit down with him.
The mothership.
Yep.
Shout out to Maggie, ripping it up. Keep track of her. You'll see her popping off, and even follow her at Wisconsin. That's a great little Murls mixer for you.
Yeah, well, Troy, New York, baby.
Troy, New York. And so did she played growing up all the time there?
No, I think she played away a lot like I did.
She's hard
playing
for girls.
Shattuck's now.
Yeah, it's hard for girls who are programs. If they don't have enough girls, it makes it really difficult. I know here for the Pens girls team, they do a little bit of recruiting, obviously, and have kids coming in and popping out. Was she here?
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's one of the bigger girls programs up here, and so we get a lot of girls that come into play here and then get recruited out to colleges and wherever they end up. But I think it's hard for them to put full teams together that are, I think
you play with the boys to a certain point.
Yeah.
If you're that good. I think that's what she did. She played with the boys to a certain point, and then at that point you do have to go to either prep school or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with I had a girl on my team all the way up till Bantams.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she eventually had to go to prep school.
Yeah, you got to go. You got to chase it. You got to chase where the good hockey is. So shout out to her. We'll be keeping track. Thanks, Murls. Murls mixer. Is that everything? We get everything for everyone? Oh, we got to get the Chatley.
Chatley. Also, while we're waiting for that, there it is. Oh, the Army, of course, the Army.
The Army. People want to go the Army. Montreal, Toronto, Pittsburgh, Winnipeg, of course, used to be the Thrashers. I'll take them. Alumni. Let's go.
And they're your team this year. You had the call.
Yeah, I had the big call. I'm starting to get credit. The boys are giving me a little bit of credit, starting to get around, I was like maybe the only guy.
I'll give you that win because you're not going to win the Steelers-Bills bet this weekend.
Okay. People keep track of that.
Give you that.
Don't be afraid to trash talk. Don't
forget I gave out on this show Bills to make the playoffs plus 118 at one point. That was another winner, another green check mark for this show. On other news,
and the Bills. The Bills in Fort Lauderdale. I saw you were posting about that too. That was insane. Right outside the elbow room. I think I saw Jazz in the background funneling beers in the elbow room. That guy slept in the elbow room when we were there for the final. That was
Johnny
Laz.
Him and Johnny
bunk
Laz
beds
in there. The empty netter
bags. That was so true. What else you got? You got something else
outside of hockey. I don't know if you watched it yet, but I watched it last night. The Foreplay Boys, our guy Frankie Borelli, I'm a super fan with Tiger Woods. Quick video. I was trying to I put an hour and a half away. I'm like, oh, it's probably I don't know. Did they play a whole round with this guy? It was a 20-minute video. Unbelievable. The whole 20 minutes is awesome. It is. I don't want to share too much about it, but really cool. Great. It was cool
how he rolled up too. He rolled up with a full entourage. It was insane. And then he just showed up and he was wearing his Tiger red. He had the whole thing going. That is so sick. Shout out to those guys. Everyone's giving them shout outs for that Tiger stuff too. They just blowing up. I seen they did a couple other collabs with some other golf guys and stuff. It's just really amazing what they're doing. They're big time, obviously. So shout out to those guys. We love those guys doing some great golf stuff, golf world stuff and content all over the place. Great call on that. Tiger Woods. Wow. That's the the white buffalo or whatever, from Hot Tub Time Machine. The white buffalo. I got the white buffalo.
Yes. And
Like the
one other thing
unachievable.
I'll tell you, Army, before we go. I love the big deal brews back there. I usually, when I need to rally the teams, I mean, we got a play of the week here. That's a big play, a lot of pressure on us. I think Rangers won its game of the year, but I told you, I'm changing up my routine here till Toronto. So instead of pounding beers to rally, I'm going to be pounding Factor smoothies every time we need a goal. So
there they are, popping up there.
Factormeals.com/GameNotes50. Use code GameNotes50. Get 50% off.
Get those smoothies in you, bud. You'll love them. They'll get you fired up. They'll rally. Those Factor smoothies, those Factor meals ready to go. So easy, so good. Portions are perfect.
So EBR crew in the chat, get over there. Get your smoothies ready. I think they can get them to you by Saturday. So
they send them and they're all it's all in a cooler, ready to go. You just pop them in your fridge, save them for the week, order for the next week. It's so easy to do, so perfect. You're right. Get those smoothies, get them in the fridge, ready to rally. Keep them on ice, whatever you need. Boom, 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 boom. Shout out to Factor, presenting sponsor for today's show. Well, it's time to shut her down, Murls. We gave them everything we had, everything. We rung the cloth.
These SHL games are starting in 35 minutes. To recap,
perfect.
Lexans 3-way. Over 5.5 Schlefty HV. A little money in your pocket to push it, press it. Thursday night NHL.
I love it.
We don't even have to say
buddy.
Responsibly anymore, do we? We used to have to say responsibly.
We don't have to say anything anymore.
No.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Ride.
Let's do whatever we want.
Let's hammer it.
Let's hammer it. Get the smoothies out. Let's go. Winter Classic Chiclets TV episode comes out tonight. Stay tuned for that. That's awesome. World Juniors Chiclet TV episode is next Wednesday with Murls. Shout out to Henrik Schoberg of Hockey News Sweden for filming. Great job. Congrats to US again. Factor, thank you. Sean Apuzzo running the controls. Thank you. G is in Penn State. He's in Happy Valley going to get a look at
I don't know.
games.
Were you supposed to release that info?
Oh, I don't know. Was I?
I don't know.
He's heading out there.
Is it?
Was it DL? I thought he mentioned it.
Did
he?
he?
I thought he tweeted that he was heading out there.
Oh,
so
right.
if I gave something away, my bad. If not,
sometimes he keeps them like, Chiclets University episode. He's sneaky about it.
Oopsie doopsie.
Oops.
We'll edit this out
Maybe
if it is. If you're live right now, you got it. But
I don't think it's probably fine. That's going to be a good one. That building's amazing.
Yeah, G on the road, grinding, battling. Shout out to him. He'll have some more Chiclets coming to you. As
Maggie
he's
said
busy.
you're safe.
I'm safe?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Maggie 87. Yeah, G said it on the show. All right.
Yeah, I thought he said it. Yeah, so he's heading out there. It's going to be electric. I hooked him up with Benny Boma. Benny Boma. He's like, our guy, Benny? Yeah, so he's TNT.
He caused me a lot of problems in Nashville.
Oh, yeah, he's a beauty. He's big. Yeah, he's like bumping flights with you. He's an awesome guy. So he's pretty dialed in at Penn State with the Pagulas and the hockey program and everything there. So we got them lined up together, and I think it's going to be an awesome thing with the full access that Benny's going to be able to provide. He'll be out there as well. I think it's senior week or something, or alumni. It's alumni weekend. So that's big for G. He'll be getting some good content. So stay tuned for that one. That Chiclets coming out. Murls, have a great weekend. You're going all the way to Monday. You'll have games all afternoon. Everyone stay tuned to the socials. This has been episode. What are we on? Episode what?
I think 11.
11?
11 weeks into the season, and we started.
Are we on 11?
Jeez, it's January 15th already. It's crazy.
All right, I got it right here. Yeah, episode 11 of Chiclets Game Notes, people. Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. The Merman brought it, and we love you.